Hi everyone, I've spoken recently about why I think that luxury is dying a death right now. Now, do I think the death is permanent? No, it will pick back up again, but I think it's going to take several years. And I think when it does pick back up, I think that luxury compared to, let's say, 2019 pre-pandemic is going to be very different to luxury in, say, 2030. I think it's going to be completely different. And I do think that luxury could literally take around 5 years to pick back up again to get to pre-pandemic levels. But as I say, for reasons I'm going to go into, I think although it will pick back up, I think it's going to be a very different environment to 2019 and before. Just a quick service announcement. I am going to be doing a handbag sale with Luxury Promise, and it's going to be on Friday the 19th of July. So when is that going to be? Depends on when I put this video up, but I think it's going to be next week, and it's going to be at 5 p.m. BST, so UK time, so just a bit after work. It is going to be a 4-hour show, so if you think, right, I finish work at 5 but I'm not going to be home until 7, no problem, come and join whenever you can. And you just need to go to the Luxury Promise website, which is luxurypromise.com. And as soon as you get there, click on live shopping in the navigation and a window will pop up, and there you will find me, and everything I show you can click through and shop, browse and buy if you want to. So why is affordable the new luxury? Okay, so we need to talk about COVID and the COVID effect to start before I move on to the other points. COVID hit very rapidly, as we all know, and it had a massive detrimental effect on the economy globally, more so in some countries than others. And I kind of wanted to go through some data that I've got here for the UK, but also for the US. Now, if you have a look at this chart here, this shows GDP in October 2022 was 5% below pre-pandemic levels. So as you can see, people have got less money. There is a COVID recession. I know they aren't saying that we're in recession, and I know economically there are markers that indicate you're in recession. But if we're not in recession, we are very, very, very close to it, skimming along it. You ask anyone, the cost of living has gone up for everyone. Salaries have not gone up in line with the cost of living. Inflation is crazy. It is coming back down in the UK, but it's going to be a long time before anyone actually feels it in their pocket. It's going to be an incredibly long time. And of course, because in the UK we had furlough, taxes have gone up a great deal in order to pay for that. So it's even more money out of the pocket of working people. And I think this is one reason why we are seeing a big change in luxury, because as I've said a million times before, those people that would once have bought a couple of bags a year, 1 bag a year, are now not doing that. And you only have to go past the stores to see that they aren't busy. They aren't as busy as they were pre-pandemic, not in a million years. You know, I remember the queues outside Chanel. I haven't seen a queue outside Chanel in a while, but if you work for them and you know differently, do let me know. But I'm just speaking from my experience. When I've gone into Harrods, it's pretty quiet in there. On top of that, we also need to think about employment. And I've got a chart here that shows employment in the US. And you can see how in April of 2020, unemployment shot through the roof in exactly April. And it's broken down here in terms of age brackets. Now, again, if you think about it, I would say that these age brackets here, in particular 20 to 29, these are, I don't know why it doesn't go up beyond that, by the way, in terms of age, but I would say that those groups are a group of people who are probably more into buying luxury than, say, older people, when your priorities start to change and you have a mortgage and you have kids and you've got other stuff to pay for. I would say, speaking for myself, 30 and below, well, I haven't had kids, so it's never really changed. But if I did have kids, I would say 30 and below is that period of time where I would have been spending on going out, buying designer stuff if I could afford it. But I think that that has played a big part as well, because that younger group of people who would have been a group of people who would have spent quite a lot collectively, they're unemployed. The next big thing, why affordable is now the new luxury, is to do with quality. I had one of you DM me yesterday and you DM'd me on Instagram and you were talking about, I think it was 3 pairs of sunglasses that you bought and from Louis Vuitton, and every one of them was defective. Some of them were bent, they all had fingerprint marks on them, and when they turned up, you were like, this is an S show. I won't swear, but you were like, this is an S show. You know, what they've sent me is awful. And then you returned 1 pair and you got another pair back and they were bent as well. So you ended up returning all 3 pairs and you've gone to look for other alternatives now. And I think quality is a really big one. And I think that luxury brands have dropped the ball on this, and affordable brands are picking up the pieces. You know, you've only got to look at like certain brands like Coach, Pollen, Senrev, Jacquemus, what else? Like Furla. There are so many brands out there that are in that affordable price range, even though their prices are going up actually. Like Coach is starting to get quite expensive. But their quality, in my experience, is spot on. Whereas you go into some of these places and you actually have to check the item over to make sure it's not defective before you buy it. And you shouldn't have to do that. That shouldn't be a thing. I've bought a bag in the past. I won't say who from because I don't want to like be mean about it or anything. But I bought a bag in the past, and when it turned up in the mail, the hardware was scratched to pieces. It looked like it had been dragged across a road. I don't know what went on with it. I returned it, I complained, and I got another one that was fine. No scratches at all. So I almost feel like maybe the first one was a display piece or something. And it didn't have the clear stickers, you know, the protective wrap that goes on hardware that stops it scratching. All of that wasn't on it. So again, luxury, you wouldn't expect to have something like that turn up, and the protective materials on it aren't even there, and it's all scratched. I mean, how was that missed through quality control when it was sent out? But so many of you are telling me this as well. Service is another really big one, and in the last video I did, I spoke about poor customer service. But I think that if you look at more affordable brands, their service tends to be a lot better. They, like, not for everyone. I'm sure there will be some of you watching and you're like, no, I went into that store and they were really rude and they ignored me, or what have you. But I think for the most part, a lot of these more affordable brands are embracing online. You know, a lot of luxury brands, they are moving online. Some of them have been online for a while, but it's not their primary. They want to get you into the boutique. Whereas a lot of these affordable brands, online is their primary and their stores are secondary. And if you look at places like, okay, I'm going to go back to Coach again actually as an example. I don't know, probably because I shop from there quite a lot now, but I go on my Instagram and there are so many Coach sales associates who have their own accounts and they show you all of the latest Coach stuff, and then you can contact them and buy. And the way they do it, their personalities, their approachability, the fact that you don't feel you're going to be like laughed at or not allowed to buy something or not helped, you don't get that vibe off them. Almost like that, I want to say pretentious, almost kind of in that certain way of, you know, can you even afford this? Can you afford to be in here? Again, a load of you have told me about this, and I've had experiences myself. I'm not joking. If I go in, I've been in designer stores before. If I don't have a designer bag, I'm not even looked at. If I walk in with a designer bag, they looking, they clock it, they help. I've actually had that at one particular place. All I'm going to say is it's an outlet in the UK. You probably guess where it is. But I had it at quite a few stores there. And I actually had in one particular store, someone was really obvious about it. I walked in with a Lady Dior, and the person was by the door as people were walking in. And loads of people were walking in. And I saw this person look at my bag and then approach me and ask if I needed any help. And I thought, I bet if I came in here with Coach, that wouldn't have happened, because nobody else was getting the assistance that I ended up getting. I didn't actually need it because I was just browsing, but it goes to show something. So I think that service plays a big part as well. And then finally, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, which is pre-loved. Pre-loved is growing massively, and pre-loved is changing. If you go back 5 years, no, if you go back well, maybe 5 years, definitely if you go back 10 years, I don't feel like the majority of people were at all interested in vintage pre-loved. I remember that these bags, though expensive, were at that sort of price point. I used to do videos for you guys being like, oh, look at all these bags under £1,000. I can't do it anymore because there are so few under £1,000. But they were just about attainable. Now they're unattainable. They're so expensive, and because prices of the new stuff has gone up, prices of pre-loved has gone up with it. So now even pre-loved is starting to get like a little bit, you know, like, oh, that's getting quite a lot. But you can still make a big saving. And pre-loved is another reason why affordable, even if it's affordable luxury, that is why affordable is becoming so popular, because because a lot of people have less money in their pockets. Their bills have gone through the roof. They might be unemployed. They might have come through unemployment and they're having to pay off maybe debts they accrued when they were unemployed. So many different reasons why people have less money in their pockets these days. And pre-loved is definitely a way that you can get what you want, and you can make a saving, and you can get it for less. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.